Hi, this is Trey Passer, and welcome to the Horoscope 101's channel. Today is Saturday, and it's my turn. This week on our channel, Horoscope 101, it's the Universal Horror movies. Okay, and my turn now. And if you've seen the channel before, this past week you've seen DVD Collector 1974. He's done a review of The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Uh, Whacktoe Films, I always butcher that name, I'm sorry. Whacktoe Films, he reviewed Dracula, okay, and Rossi Boy 19 reviewed Frankenstein, okay, on his day, and Karate Popcorn Robin, she reviewed The Invisible Man, okay, and the Blu-ray Maniac, he reviewed The Mummy, okay, and so today is my day, Saturday, and so I'm reviewing a classic Universal horror movie, the 1941 classic The Wolfman, starring Lon Chaney, Claude Rains, Ralph Bellamy, Evelyn Ankers, and this movie I absolutely love. First of all, I love the Universal horror movies. They're like my all-time favorite. Okay, and that's why I bought the Universal, the Coffin edition with all the, with 8 of the Universal movies on Blu-ray, and I have the old horror things with the bus that comes with the Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman. They come with the bus, which I showed in my intro video last week. But anyway, let's get to the movie. My review of the 1941 classic, The Wolfman, one of my absolute favorite. And as far as the Universal monsters are concerned, The Wolfman is my favorite. Okay, and it's mainly because of Lon Chaney Jr. Okay, but let me get to the story, the basic story of The Wolfman. The basic story of The Wolfman is a story about a man named Lawrence Talbot who was coming back to England after about 18 years away from his family, sort of an estrangement. Uh, Upon the death of his older brother John, he returns home to his father, to Talbot Castle. Okay, and he reconciles with his father, and his father, they make a promise to be closer and not be, Sir John Talbot, played by Claude Rains, tells him, basically saying we're going to try to be closer and not follow the old traditions so much, where the younger son isn't ignored when the older son gets all the responsibility. Okay, and they basically agree to start fresh. Okay, so basically, after that, Lawrence Talbot, who's peering through his father's telescope, happens to spy upon a young woman in an antique shop, a lovely young thing named Gwen, and he proceeds to meet her in the shop and proceeds to flirt with her. And a very important event happens at that during that meeting where they flirt with each other. He buys a silver cane, okay, with a wolf's head on it, and of course Gwen explains to him, the local legend of the werewolves, where you get the old familiar line about even a man who's pure at heart and says his prayers by night became a wolf and become a wolf when the wolf blooms and the autumn moon is full and bright. Okay, that old familiar frame which you're gonna hear throughout this movie. Okay, and then after that, Lawrence Talbot makes a date with Gwyneth to actually go see the gypsies and get their palm fortune read, and thereupon that they take her friend Jenny Williams with them. Okay, and while Lawrence and Gwen go off on their own, Jenny Williams gets her palm read by Bella the Gypsy, played by Bella Lugosi. And during that course of that palm reading, he of course sees the sign of the pentagram, the sign of the werewolf in her hand, which is explained in the movie that is the sign that the werewolf sees when he sees his next victim. Of course, and Bella of course tells her to go away, okay, run, and of course she gets attacked. Okay, and during the course of this attack, Lawrence Talbot hears it, and he runs to her aid, of course, and basically fighting off what he thinks is a wolf. Okay, and he basically, he kills her, but not after the wolf kills Jenny Williams, but he kills it and passes out. Okay, and gets taken back to of course Talbot Castle, and then in the morning when they wake up, when he wakes up, he finds out that of course Jenny Williams has died. There's not a wolf. Okay, it's actually Bella the Gypsy is the one that's been killed. Okay, and of course he's confused by this because he knows that he killed a wolf, and of course the local policeman played by Ralph Bellamy doesn't really it's kind of downing his story, because he's saying that, listen, it wasn't a wolf there. It was just a man and the dead victim. Of course, Lon Chaney, Lon Chaney or Lawrence Talbot, he started doubting himself, because he's constantly hearing this legend about the werewolf. So he's starting to doubt himself. And one night while visiting the gypsy camp, he meets the mother of Bela, Maliva, the gypsy woman, and she explains to him that her son Bela was a werewolf. And of course, he's disbelieving this. He doesn't, but she's explained to him that he was a werewolf, and he bit you, right? And he says, yes, he did bite me. Okay. And then she explains to him the legend of the werewolf. Whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself. Okay. And of course, his logical mind he's struggling with this, because his logical mind is telling him, no, this can't be possible. But yet, all these people are talking about legend of the werewolves and all this, and so you see his brain is starting to start to doubt it, and really start to maybe believe that maybe this might be true. Okay. And then of course, the night of the first full moon, okay, he runs home in a panic, thinking, like I said, he has all these thoughts in his head, and they show a real good shot in the movie where you see all these images of wolves and of the gypsy woman, of Gwen, and of him killing the werewolf. He's thinking that all these thoughts are swimming through his head, so he's basically all these thoughts are overwhelming him, and he runs home, and you see Lon Chaney he's giving this performance where you see the doubt in his face and the fear, and of course he thinks, oh, and then you see he has this moment where he sees, like, he takes off his shirt and he's like relieved that he's not expiring hair or anything, but then he feels something. You see the look on his face changes, and he sits down in the chair and he pulls off his shoes and socks, and you see hair on his legs, hair on both his legs, and then you see the doubt, and then you see this great shot where they don't show his face, they just show his legs, and you see his legs get hairier and hairier, and of course, you see the next shot you see is him. You see the legs get up and start walking, and then you see the walk through the misty woods, and you see a slow pan up behind a tree, and then you see the first shot of Lon Chaney as the Wolfman. And first of all, I'm not going to explain any more about the movie. I think I just wanted to get you up to that point, okay, and to say how much I absolutely love this movie. First of all, basically because of Lon Chaney Jr. I think his performance is so good in this movie. He, from the first beginning of the movie where you see he has us hope of, reconciling with his father, and, he's flirting with this young girl that, and he's happy, and then, he's trying to do the right thing when he sees a girl get attacked, and he winds up with this curse on him, okay, and then you see the doubt, and then the horror of the realization of who he is and what he is, and the absolute panic, and he's basically trying to appeal to his father about this legend of the werewolf thing. His father is not having any of it. He's telling him this is just superstition, and you're a rational man, you think rational, and his father's basically not having any of this. And Lawrence Talbot's character, Lon Chaney, excuse me, his performance in this movie is just great. He just has such a range of emotions, from the doubt, to the slow realization of who he is, and the hating of himself, and wanting to get away, and being fearful of what he is. And his performance is just breathtaking in this movie. And I think in the whole atmosphere that they set and tone they set in this movie is great. And again, this is another movie, I think, which is only about 70 minutes, and which just goes to prove that you can make a quality movie in less than 90 minutes. Because this movie just, from beginning to end, it's just nicely paced, and you get a nice story, and I absolutely love this movie, and I absolutely love Lon Chaney Jr.'s performance in it. It's just fantastic. And then one other scene that I want to specifically mention is the scene towards the end of the movie where Lon Chaney, Lawrence Talbot, he's appealing to his father. His father actually, like I said, he's not having any of this, you won't hear this talk about werewolves and stuff, and he basically straps his son, Lawrence Talbot, in to a chair and faces him towards a window, and he locks the door, He says he's going to lock the door and he's going to face him towards the window so you can see the hunt for them hunting the werewolves. Okay, so and then that way we'll be done with this werewolf mess. He said once you see in the morning, once we kill this creature, and your rational mind will you go back to normal. You won't be thinking of these thoughts of werewolves and everything else. And you see Lon Chaney, he's not Lon Chaney, Lawrence Talbot. He's he's tied to the chair and he appeals to his father. He tells his father, please take the cane. And I love this scene because of two reasons. Lon Chaney's performance, and I think two things in that scene work is happening. He's pleading with his father to take the cane because he knows he's going to change into the world and he's going to, escape. And he doesn't want to hurt his father, possibly, because his father's going to the hunt and he don't want to be possibly, hurt or kill his father. So he's pleading with him to take the silver cane so he'll have a defense in case he meets up with his father, as the Wolfman, and which he can't control himself. So I think that's one of the reasons, and another reason is basically this is goodbye to his father, because I think this is just my reading into it, but I think he knows that this is probably going to be the last time he's going to see his father, because he knows, I think he knows in the back of his head that he's going to get killed. So basically this is his goodbye to his father. So I think, and I absolutely love this scene. I love the way Lawrence Talbot, Lon Chaney portrayed, the way he acts in that scene. You just feel, and like I said, that his performance is making you feel so much for him. You feel so, you feel sorry for him, which is, I think, the whole point of his character. He's a good man who, while trying to do the right thing, gets cursed, okay, and gets his curse put upon him, and you feel so much for him. And I absolutely love Lon Chaney Jr.'s performances. I know I said that before, but I'm going to say it again. I absolutely love his performance. He gives a lot of heart in that movie, and I absolutely loved his performance. And The Wolfman, I've seen this movie 1,000 times, but I watched it again just a little while ago just to refresh my memory and stuff of it. And again, a classic horror movie. I'm glad that I watched it again, and it's just The Wolfman is one of my favorite Hoffman horror classic characters. He's my absolute favorite. He's the number one, has to be. Okay. Anyway, that's my review of The Wolfman. Okay, definitely see this movie. For those who haven't seen it, you have to see it. It's a classic. It's just an absolute gem of a movie, like I said, with a great cast, great script. Lon Chaney Jr.'s performance is absolutely top-notch, and the makeup, Jack Pearson's makeup, is absolutely fantastic. And also, I want to mention on the Blu-ray, for the Coffin edition, they have a bunch of special features, and they have like a documentary about Lon Chaney Jr.'s life and stuff, being in the shadow of his father, Lon Chaney Sr., and they do like a Wolfman retrospective, and they even have a commentary by a film historian about the movie. Okay, and a few fun facts I want to say about the Wolfman. Do I have a few fun facts? Yeah, there was another actor, I think his name was Dick Ferran. He was supposed to be actually chosen to be the Wolfman in the script, but I think they said a week before he got replaced by Lon Chaney Jr. to be the Wolfman. And also, I'm trying to think any other fun facts that I know about the Wolfman. Oh yeah, originally this was supposed to be there was a script, and I think Boris Karloff was supposed to play the Wolfman in a script that they had earlier, but they never shot. Okay, so but they didn't use that script on this movie. This one was a new script written for this movie. And I think originally also I read somewhere that they toyed with the idea of just not ever showing you really the Wolfman. That it was just going to make it like a psychological thriller thing where the protagonist, Lawrence Talbot, was just going to keep thinking that he was a Wolfman, but it was going to be like all in his head. But thankfully they didn't go that route, and you saw actually they did the makeup and everything else. And Lon Chaney, we got film is lucky to have his great performance by Lon Chaney Jr. Okay, and again I want to mention the previous movies that people have reviewed on this channel. DVD Collector 1974 reviewed The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Why October Films reviewed Dracula. Rossi Boy 19 reviewed Frankenstein. And Karate Popcorn Robin reviewed Invisible Man. And Blu-ray Maniac reviewed The Mummy, of course, and I'm reviewing, of course, The Wolfman. So if you want to look at those videos, if you're watching this video, you can just look on the channel for those videos. Okay, and I want to say thank you, everybody, and please watch those other videos. And again, Universal, love that. That's my absolute favorite. So this is my review. So let me know what you think. And feel free to leave your comments down below. And this is Trey Passer saying so long and take care.